Hello, everybody. It's me, Shannon LaBruyere. I am live and loving it tonight. Welcome to Sunday Night Live, where we explore the principles that allow us to thrive in change. I'm talking about the change we wanted and the change that we didn't expect. I'm talking about the big changes that sweep us off of our feet and the little changes that can annoy us or drag us down. Every part of that spectrum of change. We're here to talk about it, to equip you to be able to be resilient in the face of it. Thank you for popping in and joining us. I invite you to say hi. If you're here watching live, for sure, pop in on the comments and let us know that you're here, where you're from. We just love knowing who's tuning in, and we love to see you live. If you aren't able to be on live, you've got a couple of ways that you can enjoy this Sunday Night Live, Facebook Live broadcast. You can go to our YouTube channel, which there's a link in my Thrive and Change page. There's a link to my YouTube channel, and you can subscribe. That way, you won't miss any when new ones are posted. And you can also subscribe to the Thrive and Change podcast, which is an audio replay of Sunday Night Live. And it gives you an opportunity to listen to that on your way to work or on your commute. Hi, Mary, and hi, Kelly. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Thanks for jumping on and saying hi. Let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Thumb Roast Coffee. You guys know what a fan I am of Thumb Roast Coffee. It is the best coffee I've ever drunk. I should look that up. Would some grammar person help me out with that? Did I drink it? Is it the best I've ever drunk? I know it's not the best I've ever drunken. That part I know. Thumb Roast Coffee is delicious. I'm currently drinking Sanilac Sunrise, but my heart longs for Blue Lake. I just love Blue Lake. It's my favorite. You will find your favorite too when you go to the website. Order a variety because you can try each one and you'll get 15% off when you order. Yay! So it's awesome. I encourage you to do that. It is wonderful that Thumb Roast Coffee believes in the principles that we talk about here and wants to make sure that the people who participate in Sunday Night Live have the opportunity to experience their coffee and gives you a discount. So it's great. You get 15% off using the coupon code Thrive, Thrive. I hope you try it out. And if you do, let me know if you love it, because I sure do. All right. The next thing is tonight's Thrive principle is hashtag bring the honor. The title of tonight's broadcast is You Are a Force. You are a force. You, my friend, are a force for change. I was talking with my husband a couple weeks ago and I said, I'm not sure what I want to talk about on Sunday Night Live. And he apparently gave it some serious thought and he texted me the most wonderful idea. He said, I wonder if the people who watch and listen to Sunday Night Live understand that they are able to do great things with what they've learned. He said they have the ability to listen to people, to influence people because of the principles that you all have learned here on Sunday Night Live. You've got the ability to be a force for change, for positive change in your environment. And he said, I wonder if they understand that. And so we are going to explore that. And the first principle that we're going to use, that we're going to go to explore it, is bring the honor. So let's see who else is here. We've got Kelly, we've got Mary. If somebody else is popping on, make sure you stop and say hi. Let us know. And let's talk a little bit about bring the honor. Bring the honor is the first of the 4 Thrive principles. It's the first one. And bring the honor in a nutshell is this, that I am a person of honor. That's what it means. Bring the honor says, I am a person of honor, and wherever I go, I bring honor with me. And what that means for you is that even if you are in the middle of a dishonorable situation, change that you didn't want, maybe you were fired without cause, maybe your company downsized and you were lost in the shuffle, maybe your loved one left you. I don't know what your change is, but it doesn't matter if there was honor in it or not, because when you show up, you commit to bring the honor. And when we bring the honor to whatever change we face, we are starting on solid ground. Laura, hi, I'm glad you're here. Good evening and welcome. So, bring the honor says that no matter what situation I'm in, I am able to uplevel that situation just by being involved. You, my friend, are a force. When you show up in situations, are you a force for good? Are you a force that's helpful? Are you a force that brings the honor? Or are you a force that drags people back, drags people down, makes situations worse? This happens. It happens to all of us. I have been in situations, I was downsized. My postal district got absorbed by the neighboring district. My job, my position, and all of the leaders that I served were sent to the four winds. Some of them left the state, some of them went into departments that they had never run before. I was adrift, and I did not initially bring the honor to that change. I didn't. I made things worse, not better for myself. I made things worse, not better, because I was so, I felt so lost and betrayed. But it didn't take me long. It did not take me long to sit back and meditate and pray and say, all right, what do I have to do here to bring honor to this situation? And when I opened myself to the possibility that I could bring honor to what I saw as being a very unfair situation, all of a sudden I started seeing opportunities to bring the honor. When we open ourselves up to the possibility that we can bring honor to a dishonorable situation, we have now become a force for good. You have become a force for good. Yes. Hey, good evening, Pam. I'm glad you're here. You, my friends, are a force. You are a force. And if you are going to be a force for good, you are going to need principle number one, hashtag bring the honor. When you bring the honor, when you are trying to affect a change, when you are entering a situation that you want to be different, when you are the one who's saying, this has got to stop, this needs to be better, you're being a leader. And I want you to think about that for a minute. Sometimes you don't think of yourself as a leader. And in Livestream Leadership on Saturday mornings in our mastermind group, we revisit this idea a lot because it's really, really important. And I want to share it with you that if you are influencing somebody, you are being a leader. Bring the honor is all about being an influence for good, showing up, being a person of character, a person of dignity, a person who's open to change and to seeing positive aspects. When we do that, we are leading. We are leading ourselves first and foremost. When I was sitting clothed in sackcloth and ashes and mourning the loss of my job that I loved, I was not in a place of honor, but very quickly I chose to say, all right, what good can I bring to this situation? How can I help not just myself, but how can I influence other people to have a more positive experience going through the midst of this unwanted change? You, my friend, are a force, and you get to choose what kind of a force you are. And when you are trying to affect change, That first Thrive principle, bring the honor, is your anchor. So let's talk for a minute about some of the kinds of changes you might want to make. And in fact, I would love for you to drop in the comments, what is a change that you would like to affect in your life? What's a change that you would like to see happen? What's a change you would like to see at your work or in a personal relationship or in a group that you volunteer in? Where is an area in your life that you know I want to be a positive force for change? I want to be a force that brings change in a positive way. Because when you identify that area, you have to ask yourself a question. And is the change I seek honorable? So let's think for a minute about some dishonorable ways that we sometimes want change. How about sabotage? Does anybody know anyone who lost a home due to foreclosure? This happened a lot in the 2007 through 10 or 12. There were a lot of people who lost their homes through foreclosure. That was so sad. It was unwelcome change, unwanted change. And how many of you saw any of those homes put for sale on the market and they were being sold by the bank, and you could see through the windows or see the pictures where the people had torn down the cabinets, punched holes in the wall, ruined the drywall, poured water all over the wood floors? Unwanted change. And they decided to show up in a dishonorable way. When we are faced with unwanted change, are you a force to perpetuate more unwanted change? Or are you going to choose to be a force that says, I am going to bring the honor and I am going to help make better change? I'm going to help make this situation better. Sabotage isn't going to cut it. How about revenge? So when you've got a change that you want, what about if you're quitting a job? So many reasons why we can quit a job. How many of you know? Well, I'll just tell you, I have talked to countless people who were quitting jobs because they wanted to show the boss that they weren't going to take it anymore. Ah! No, no, that is being a force that does not bring the honor. You can be a force for positive opportunities for change in the midst of the unwelcome change, but you're not going to do it if you're choosing dishonor in the midst of it. Anybody even just felt that way yourself? You just wanted some revenge? You just wanted to take it out on somebody? It's human, but I'm here to tell you that you can choose differently because you are a force. Mary says this, I'm understanding that making choices is making me healthier. Yeah. Choosing not to choose, Mary, is a choice. I'm going to say that again. Choosing not to choose is a choice. When we just let the default happen, we're going to head into the arena of dishonor because that is where situations tend to go. But when we actively choose the healthier way, the way that honors what we believe our core values, things like I honor people's ability to make choices and to experience the consequences of their choices, right? I honor that in them. I respect people for that, even if I disagree with their choice. I always choose to show up as a person of integrity. I believe that my steps are ordered of God. You guys are familiar with my core values. What are your core values? Your core values are the signposts that are going to let you know if the change you want to see happen is a honorable change or a dishonorable one. Kelly says, let's just say my temper almost always gets the best of me. Kelly, kudos to you for admitting it. And awareness is the first step toward growth. Bottom line, knowing that about yourself is your first step toward growth. And Kelly has shared with us, it's been a few months now, it might have been even almost a year. Kelly, you've shared with us how you had an opportunity to lose your temper while you were driving to work and you were late. And you actually referenced it a couple of weeks ago on Sunday Night Live. And you shared how you brought the honor and made the choice to not be angry at the person who was driving slowly in front of you. You didn't let your temper get the best of you. You, my friend, are improving. You are a force for good. Kudos to you. That's wonderful. As we are contemplating change, whatever change it is in our lives, if we make sure that we are bringing the honor to that change, the change that we want maybe for other people. Perhaps you're the leader of a group. Maybe you're in charge of a work team that's struggling, not meeting goals. Maybe you're trying to inspire people to do better, right? To fulfill the mission of your company or your team in a way that's going to allow you to thrive and to be successful. And you're wanting those people to change. When you want other people to change and you are trying to affect change that involves other people, number one consideration is bring the honor. Why do you want them to change? I remember working for a boss who very much wanted our work team to perform well so that he could get a promotion and a raise and get out of Dodge. I'm not going to lie. We had trouble getting on that bandwagon. Working hard just to make him look good was not my idea of honor. Why do you want the change you want? The change you want to see in your family, the change you want to see in your relationship with your husband or your wife, the change you want to see in your family. Why do you want that change? Is that reason an honorable reason? We can want the right thing, something that looks great on the outside, but if our honor is missing, then we are going to go astray. And eventually, the people that we are trying to get on board with that change are going to sniff it out and they are not going to want to go. And now we're not affecting change. We're in the position of trying to force change. And it is very difficult to force change on anybody. I was going to say it was difficult to force change on adults, but it's difficult to force change on children. It's difficult to force change on a dog. I have 2 puppies. I can vouch for this. I'm here to tell you that if you are going to be a force, if there is a change that you really want to see in your life, you want to grow, you want to get better at a skill, you want to get a better job, you want to lead more effectively, you want to be an artist, whatever it is, whatever that change is that you want to affect in your life or in the lives of others, whatever change you're going to lead in yourself or lead in other people, that change has to align with your core values. And because you're here on Sunday Night Live, I know that your core values, at least a good number of them, are honorable. You bring the honor. You are a force. Do not underestimate your ability to affect change by bringing honor to a situation. When you bring honor to every interaction that you have, whether it's unwanted change or change that you are trying to actually implement, that you wanted to see this, you started that ball rolling, you wanted that team to grow and double in size, you wanted to beat the Astros in Little League Baseball, whatever change it is that you're bringing, when you bring the honor to it and it's aligned with your values, the people who you are trying to lead are going to get on board with you. And what about the change for yourself? When you are trying to lead yourself into change, what's the motive for that? What's your motive? We're talking here about bringing the honor and affecting change because you are a force. What's your motive for the change you want to make? You want to lose 20 pounds? Wonderful. What's behind that? Is it because you're ashamed? That's no honor. There's no honor in that. Spend some time with that. Spend some time with your motives for the changes you want to see happen. There are a million reasons. There are as many reasons for change as there are people in the earth. So that's billions. What is your reason? And just make sure that the reason that you have for wanting to change is bringing the honor, because you're not even going to follow yourself. Talk about trying to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Talk about trying to use willpower and hard work to make a change happen. Try to implement a change that violates your core values. My friend, it is miserable. And you are a force for good. You are a force for good. Align the changes you want personally, professionally, with your core values. Bring the honor to each one of those changes, and it is going to exponentially power them. All right, Pam says, this is so good. Pam, I love the way you write because it allows me to be expressive. This is so good. When circumstances are crazy, especially in the midst of change, it can be so tough. I'm with you, Shannon. I want to bring the honor. My desire is to be a thermostat instead of a thermometer. Yes. Yes. A core value right there, Pam, right? Your desire is to be a thermostat instead of a thermometer. Changing the temperature, improving the climate, not reacting and responding to it. I love it. Kelly says, my 5-year-old granddaughter has just found out that she is going to be the big sister of twins, and this change is almost making her cry. She didn't want one baby, and now there are two. I am trying to help her with this. Yes. Let me see. Is there, yeah, you're trying to help her with that, Kelly. I understand. Yeah. Yeah. And how are you trying to help her? How are you trying to help her? There's an honorable way to help your granddaughter cope with and come to accept this idea that she's going to be a big sister to twins. There's an honorable way to do that, and a way that isn't so honorable. We can affect change by bribery, right? What would happen if you were to just promise her bunches of toys after the babies were born? You know, not a bad thing to have a fun surprise, right? But is bribing somebody to love their siblings a long plan? Is that a long range? Is that viable in the long term? And of course, that's not what you're planning to do. When you're dealing with the people that you're helping them adjust to change, bringing the honor to that, reminding them of who they are, reminding her of who she is. She is a loving girl. She cares about people. She knows how to deal with frustration. You have confidence in her and faith. That is going to feed her soul. It is going to feed her soul. And kudos to you, Kelly, for wanting to help her to cope with this and not just brush it off and assume, she'll get over it. You are actively helping her to learn how to thrive in change. And those thrive principles can help her in child's terms. They can help her. So stay tuned, because for the next 4 weeks, well, the next 3 weeks after this one, we're going to be talking about how the other Thrive principles help us to affect change, and we can share those principles with others and help them to deal with change better too, which uplevels everybody's skills. But right now, Kelly, you're bringing the honor. It's a beautiful thing, and reminding her that she is a person of value, regardless of her feelings of jealousy or anger or resentment, right? She's still a person of honor, and she can choose to also cultivate other feelings. You've got this, Kelly. She's going to do well. She's blessed and fortunate to have you. All right. Laura says, I think it is human nature to want to seek revenge or some kind of retaliation. Yes, I would agree, Laura. But bringing the honor will keep us from making more mistakes by adding fuel to the fire, right? This really does apply to every situation and helps elevate our views of the situation. Not always easy at the onset, but really worth practicing. This principle is number one for a reason. Hear, hear. I couldn't have said it better myself, Laura. Exactly. Bring the honor is the foundation for everything we do. When we show up as a person of honor, every situation changes for the better. We are a force. Kelly shares she bought a book about being a new sibling and one about dealing with her feelings. And she's jealous. And I told her that's normal. Yeah, of course, right? Of course she's a little jealous. And she's got other feelings too that you're going to help her find. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I'm telling you, she's lucky to have you. And each one of you, you are a force in somebody else's life, whether it is a child, a grandchild, a cousin, a nephew, a person at Target. You are a force and you are affecting change because you are a person who brings the honor. You are a force. Ken said, I wonder if they realize that they have the ability to create change because of what they're learning and what they're doing. And that he was wondering if you realize that you have the ability to help other people change as well because of how you deal with change. If everybody's in the same boat and there's one person who's standing tall, bringing honor to the situation, refusing to get down in the trenches, refusing to retaliate, to take revenge, understanding that this is going to be good if we choose to look for good. When you are that person, you shine like a beacon. You, my friend, are a force. You are a force. You can affect change in your own life and in the lives of other people. Gives me chills. I'm very excited for you. It's an incredible thought, isn't it? When we realize that we actually have the ability to bring the honor and be a positive change in somebody's life. Sometimes that change can be huge. It can have lifelong ramifications. So what kind of a force are you choosing to be? When you want a change to happen, when you're trying to affect change, when you are trying to affect change, what values are you honoring when you do that? When you think to yourself, why do I want this to happen? Is it because I want to make $1 million? Is it because I'm jealous and I want to beat that other person? What is your reason for the change you want to see happen? Because if you make sure that you are constantly in connection with rule number one, with principle number one, bring the honor. When you do that, you fuel your ability to change yourself, the situation you're in, and to help others change as well. And when you are not bringing the honor, when your motives and your desires are not in alignment with that truth and that value, the honor that you know for yourself personally, that you hold yourself to, when you don't do that, every step feels like it is through molasses, and it is a matter of willpower, guilt, shame, pressure, peer pressure. You don't need any of that. You don't need any of that. You are a force. You are a force. And I'm going to leave you with that tonight. What kind of a change do you want to see in your life? What change have you been trying to make or wishing you could make? I want to leave you this one last little tidbit because I didn't mention it and it is so important. When you are trying to affect change and you are in the right place, you are bringing the honor to that situation, you have to take action on that. You have to act in order to see that change start to come to pass. Just thinking about it will not be enough. You are a force, and your force, your positive force for good, for change, is a wonderful thing, but it is inert if you do not take action on it. So I encourage you and share with us. I would love to know, share what change would you like to see happen in your life and how can you bring the honor to it? And what about the people around you? The changes you want to see in them, are you bringing the honor to those situations as well? Love to hear about it. Cannot wait to see your comments. Looking forward to a wonderful week and reconnecting next Sunday on Sunday Night Live. And we're going to be talking about principle number 2, which is respect the now. Take care. I love you. God bless, and goodbye.